What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dad's Expensive Hobby.
What's up?
Today we are taking a look at the Syndicate Collectibles, the Howling 1/12 scale werewolf figure. I, growing up, loved the Howling movies, so it was really awesome to see this figure on Big Bad Toy Store the other day, so I just had to get it. I'm not familiar with Syndicate Collectibles, but thus far they look pretty good. This package is great. Awesome image on the front here. If you had it in hand, you can feel it's nice and textured there. It looks really good. The side has a nice, like, ominous picture of like the moon through a tree there. The other side is the same thing. The back is a little plain, but you know, sometimes less is more, so I think they're getting their point across there. And it's set up a lot like a NECA, got a big window on the inside and with the flap on it, and just through the box that figure looks awesome. And right there they've got it like from the movie poster on the inside of that image. That looks really, really awesome. But I can't wait to get this figure out and take a look at him. So let's get him out of the package and take a closer look at him. All right. Just out of the box, he looks really awesome. He is chocked full of paint and detail. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. First things first, let's see how tall he is. Now, I'm keeping his legs kind of how they came in the package because they don't straighten out completely anyway. But we'll just see how he is with this height. Up to the top of his pointy ears, he is exactly 7.5 inches tall, which would make the entire figure about 19 centimeters, give or take. So I think that looks pretty good. Now we're going to kind of combine his paint and detail and his accessories all into one thing here. But let's start off with the face, because he comes with two separate head sculpts, and we'll look at this one that comes on him in the package. This open mouth, kind of like growling, yelling, roaring face, whatever, looks really good. The paint in that mouth is fantastic. The tongue, the teeth look great. The eyes, there's dry brush all over every inch of this figure, and he looks really, really good. His pointy ears. He's surprisingly light. This figure doesn't weigh much at all. He's not heavy, you know, like some of the other figures that I've been used to handling. But you can see all the paint and the detail in the fur. It just, you know, obviously he's a werewolf, so head to toe fur, and there's head to toe dry brush and detail painting all over him. He looks really good. I noticed he didn't have a tail. I don't think that the werewolves in the movies, in the Howling movies, at least the first one, had a tail, so I have no problem with that. Look at his hands right here. He comes with 6 different hands, and we'll look at the couple of other ones here in a minute. They're all a variation of an open hand, but they all look really good. The detail and paint in his fingernails looks really awesome. The paint and fur sculpt on the top of his hands look really good. All of his knuckles have attention to detail there. They all look really, really good. His arms look awesome. Look at all that fur work up through there. That sculpt is fantastic, and then that dry brush really brings it to life. Let's look at his belly right here. That kind of, just like how, like a dog has kind of that mane line of fur that comes together down through there. That looks really, really good. His legs, this right here is actually really rough, and I kind of like that. I think it looks good, like representing longer hair on the back of his legs right there. That looks really awesome. The 3 joints, you know, right there, and right there, these look really good. His little feet, paws or whatever look awesome. The claws on them look fantastic. That looks really, really nice. Bottom of the feet aren't sculpted. One foot does have a peg hole. I know some people like to see that stuff, but both feet don't. Only one foot does, and the bottom of the feet aren't sculpted. But his paint and detail, it's a simple look, but man, does it look really, really good. I really like it. Let me stand him back up. He's actually kind of hard to stand up because I'm not used to kind of lanky figures like this. It's almost like you're trying to stand him up on stilts or something. Oh, well, I had him and he almost fell over. So if you have a stand, I would recommend using it. And here's his other head sculpt. And it's a closed mouth, like teeth showing kind of face sculpt. And man, does it look really good too. Again, the gums and the teeth and his eyes and the fur right there. Man, oh man, does that look awesome. That looks really good. And neither jaw articulates. And I don't want to say that bugs me, but it's a little bit of a letdown. It would have been nice to be able to move at least one of them, you know what I mean? But at least they gave us 2 separate head sculpts, one with the mouth closed and one with the mouth open. But yeah, both head sculpts, the paint and detail looks really, really good. And let's look at his other variations of hands. Like I said, they're just 3 different sets of a variation of an open hand, but they all look really good. Look at the detail on the knuckles there, paint on the fingernails. the details that they went into on the inside of his hands, like the palm of his hands and the crease in his fingers, that looks really nice. That looks really, really good. And here's his other one, the third set, I guess you'd say. And again, like I said, it's an open hand, and he fell down, but that's okay. Just looks really, really good. I'll hold him up to compare him so you can see what I'm talking about. It's just a variation. You know, this hand's like this, and then this hand has 2 fingers out. That is literally the only difference there. But let's stand him next to, if I can get him to stand up, next to some other figures and see how he looks next to them. And here he is next to the Dragon Ball Z figurized standard model kit version of Goku right here, and I think they look pretty cool. He's a lot bigger than I, in my brain, thought that he was, because the figurized model kits are kind of tall. And here he is next to the NECA Freddy vs. Jason Voorhees figure, and Jason kind of towers over him. Well, then I've got his legs scrunched down there a little bit, but Jason's quite a bit taller than him, so I imagine that maybe NECA's version of this werewolf would be a little bit taller too. And here he is next to the Marvel Legends Cowboy Wolverine, and I think that looks pretty good. You know, if there's anybody that can kill a werewolf, it would probably be Wolverine. And here it is next to the Marvel Legends Red Hulk, and Red Hulk is surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, but towers over him, and I think that would be a nice little fight to see. And here he is next to the Assassin's Creed Ezio figure from NECA, and I think they look really nice to each other. Lots of nice paint work going on. And here he is next to the Marvel Select Immortal Hulk, and God, I love looking at that figure, and that would be a nice little matchup. I wonder what would happen to the Hulk if he got bit by a werewolf. But anyway, they look really good next to each other. All right, that looks really, really awesome. Let's take a look at his articulation really quick, because he moves pretty good. Now, I'll be honest, there are a couple of joints that I will need to heat up. And I would recommend, if you picked up this figure, which it is still available in Big Bad Toy Store, I'm pretty sure. And I do recommend that you get it. It's a good figure so far. Let's start with his head. The head moves down really good, looks up really good. You're not going to get a big bunch of nuance side to side, but you are going to get some because of the way this sculpt is right through here. It's going to block it side to side. His head is on kind of a ball peg that goes down in this, which kind of serves as like a neck joint, if you can see that right there, and that moves around too, so it kind of gives it a double ball peg effect.
Oh, hallelujah.
And I really like it. I think because if you watch how these segments move when that inner tube kind of moved in there, it really looks good, and it prevents the gapping and stuff. His head moves around really, really well, so you could get a lot of nice different little looks to his head nuances. Shoulder will come up to about right there. Single jointed elbow, which I like. I'm glad they didn't try to do a double jointed elbow really. And it has a bicep swivel up at the top, and you get some swivel down here at the elbow as well. And his hands are on a very nice little ball hinge on the wrist, and it moves around and gives you lots of ability to move his hands and do different stuff with it. His abdomen moves really well. Let me get his arm out of the way.
Fuck.
Oh, I'll just pop it off. It pops right back on, no big deal. If I can just stick it back up in there. You know what, I'll leave it off for now. He can crunch all the way forward. He can lean back and straighten up. You can get lots of side to side, and that's because he's on a double ball peg in there and down in here. And I'll show you that here. Well, I'm not going to pop him apart, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. And down here at the waist, he moves around really, really well. So his abdominal articulation is ridiculously good. Now his hips, they're on little ball pegs in there, but they don't come out to the side, but they're dog legs, and dog legs don't do that. But they come forward well enough.
What the fuck is that?
This guy comes apart if you force him too much. And it'll come back some for you, but you're not meant to get a big bunch out of these hips. And this little knee right here is a single jointed type of deal, and this kind of second ankle gives you a little bit of forward and back. Now you don't get a big bunch out of the feet down here. It feels like they're on a little ball hinge down in there, but not a lot up or down, and there's no toe break. So that kind of, I don't want to say it sucks, but it does limit it a little bit. And if you can see that right there, that's just a ball hinge there, and there's a ball hinge in right here. Let me stick his arm back really quick because I popped it off before. And one more complaint, a little bit of paint transfer.
You're a piece of shit.
Not a lot, but just a little flakage, but nothing crazy. But overall, this figure is really solid. He moves really well. He looks really good. Little bit of issue standing him up, but if you crouch him down, he tends to stand up a little bit better. But if you got if you've got the desire and the means to pick this up, I highly recommend it, especially if you like werewolf figures or if you like the Howling. This is a really good release. I can't wait till this August to compare it to the NECA Howling figure that's coming out then, and see how they measure up to each other, because this is not a bad figure. It's not super cheap. I think this was $56 on Big Bad Toy Store, if I'm not mistaken. I'll put the actual price up on the screen, but I think it was $56. But yeah, this is a good release. Like I said earlier in the video, I'm not familiar with Syndicate Collectibles, but for this being a first showing, at least for me from them, this is a solid release. This is very good. So I'm going to give this, I'll give this a B-. It's above average. This is a solid release. You know, a little bit of paint transfer and his joints pop off a little bit, but that could be just me manhandling him. But B- is very good. This is a strong release. I would recommend picking it up. I also recommend you check out our other videos. And if you haven't subscribed yet, pause the video, scroll down, click subscribe, give us a like, give us a comment. And with all that said, this has been Dad with Dad's Expensive Hobby, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.